All right, everybody, we ready for another no edit journey? Hi. I drew us a card. I thought maybe that would help center, help bring things down and in. I just jumped off the spin bike, which is off camera. This is easily a yoga that you can do just because you need to loosen up, stiff back, stiff hips. If you need to sit in a chair, I'm looking around for my chair, but I pulled it off camera. You can sit in a chair, you can prop another chair of the same height next to you, and when we move out into the outer planes of the body, you could easily swing a leg out into that chair. Just make sure if you're using chairs, they don't have wheels on them. Yeah, human mistakes. Oh, I'll just use this chair. Anyways, welcome. It's a new year. It's a new day. It's a new moment. It's all about the moment. What moment am I in? Am I in this moment? Am I in that moment? Am I in this moment thinking about that moment? Ooh. Am I in this moment ruminating about something that happened once upon a time? Well, then I'm not in this moment. Or am I in this moment hoping everything's going to change, hoping it's going to change, planning for the future, because this moment is unsettling? Okay, I know I do that a lot. It's all just a thing. It's all awareness. All of this is just bringing in more awareness, more sweetness, more awareness, more sweetness, more awareness, more sweetness. Right now, am I okay with who I have become in this moment? Some moments I am and some moments I'm not. So let's journey, do our thing. As always, if you've never done yoga before, you might want to check with your doc before you start a yoga program. If you've had any procedures done in the last year since we stopped doing in person, make sure that you really hear your physical therapist in your head, because we don't have physical guidance where instructors can walk over and lay a hand on a shoulder and say, psst, back off a little. We know our students, we know you guys, and we don't have that platform right now. So just make sure you're in the moment with where you're at, with where the body is, with where the joints are, with where the arthritis is today. And then on to the card that I drew off camera before I started. It's one I've never seen out of this deck before. It's really pretty. It's the magnetism card. Oh, yeah, let's slow down with breath before it all starts. If you're on a cushion, make sure that you've got good room for your hip flexors. Extend that spine as well as you can. Pull slightly up, back, and in so that there's a rise in the back of that cervical spine, which is then going to pull in this extra. It's not mac and cheese with me. I've gotten into snacks and not working out as much. So pull that in and have that as an awareness. Love is a magnetic force that extends from the heart of all living things. Love is both a protective shield and a powerful attractor. It is the center of the flow of your life. A word, a thought, a touch is all it takes for love to ignite. When it does ignite, it radiates from your core, stretching out beyond your horizons. So breathe in on that. Let's gather in. Pull into the moment. Find a place in the body that seems tight. And with a loving breath, let that breath stretch in there and expand. And when it releases, notice if it comes back the same, or whether just the thought of love into that area adds just a little tweak, a little adjustment. Oh, my left shoulder just settled down with that. Keep moving that breath in and around, maybe stretching right ribs. Beyond your physical plane, move out of that horizon, maybe left ribs. Maybe pulling up and out of the sternum. And then take a breath, that loving breath, right into the back, the upper back of the head. Notice that what that does to the awareness right there in that moment. And then just let the body return to normal as you gather the hands into heart space. One hand on top of the other on the heart, or prayer, or maybe on the belly. Noticing what the little automatic breaths do to the body, and whether the mind tries to spin back up. Let those arms expand out, allowing your shoulders the room that they need, and then just a little tick-tock. So for those of us that haven't been sitting on the floor, as a rule, we used to yoga together 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. And now, not so much. Just make sure that if you get to a point where you go, oh, I used to be able to, ooh, that moment is in the past. So if used to jumps up in your mind's language up here, pull away from that. Pull the body back up and out. And then slowly kind of become more liquid. See what happens when you add some elbow movement and maybe a head movement. If you need to adjust the legs, just the legs. Y'all know you can throw those legs out in front of you or out in a wide V. This isn't my yoga. I'm just putting words to what the body's asking for. So then take that right arm. We're going to go right arm. Stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch. Maybe lay the head out. Find breath. Send love down to those right fingertips. And then settle back in. That left arm extends. We reach and reach and reach. Finding home. See, now we can't sit in a big room full of other people and go, well, why don't I look like that? Or, gosh, if only I were that flexible. Now we just got to be with it. Breathe that love to those fingertips. Bring that body back up. Everything comes in center. One more breath. If you're in a chair, grab onto the edges. If you're on a bolster, either slide the bolster or tip those hands over the back. Let those knees rise up. And then we're just going to tick-tock those knees from side to side. So if you're in a chair, you might want to just do this with your upper body. Or you can just let the knees kind of slide around. You could make some circles. Let that chest rise, though. We don't want those bottom ribs to dip down into the colon. We want to make space in the belly. So one thing that the card said was moving out into the planes, into the opposite planes, into those horizons. Let those legs fall off to one side. Doesn't matter which side. If you're in a chair, maybe let that torso twist a little more to the other. So opposing forces. Magnetism is all about opposing forces. So my hips right now and my knees are one force, and my head and my sternum are the other force, and I'm creating a lightness in the belly. Breathe in. Breathe out. through center, off to the other side. Give that twist. Finding that breath, opposing forces. North Pole, South Pole, pulling away. And then back into center. Walk those feet together, hands right on the shins. Lift up and in. And then arch the spine. And then lift it up. And arch the spine. Lift it up and in. And these are just gentle back soothers. These are just testing movements to see little kriyas, little movements to see where the body's forces are wanting to go. And then curve and arch and curve and arch. Reach for the back of those legs. If you're in a chair, just hunch over, hands on thighs. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now peel that sternum up. Shoulder blades move back. Then one foot, the other foot can be done in a chair just the same. Shoulder blades might need to be on the back of the chair. Lifting up and then pull, pull, pull. Have those two magnetic forces pull together. If you want to lift one hand and then the other, join me. If not, then just be. Inhale. Exhale, hands slide down, feet come together. Reach for the thighs, the shins, or the ankles, and fold that body in. Oh, COVID and parasites, how I love thee. You know, I've enjoyed some of the changes. I used to be able to go boop and stick my head on the floor. Not so much today. You know what? We gotta really look at the yoga we do. People, I'm one of those. It's about, oh, yoga, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good. Well, it's also on the injury list. We can injure ourselves if we push too hard. So if we push too hard, that's like one magnet being stronger than the other. And then it's not productive. Take a breath. Breathe it out. Roll that body up. Oh, feel that spine. And then left hand, right knee, right hand right behind that body. Little twist. If you need to cross the ankles here, do that. If you're in a chair, just drape that arm over the back. Bill just tried to walk in. He had the look on his face. Oh, you're busy. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Release, unwind, off to the other side. Oh, I threw kettlebells the other day. That's what this is. Oh, kettlebells are great. And right now they need to be done in moderation in my world. Big breath. Release it out. And unwind. All right. Take those legs, throw them out in a V. Oh, yes. So if you have a partner around, Zoe and I were doing this the other day. You want to turn this into a partner exercise, you can. Come foot to foot with your partner. If your partner doesn't have as flexible inner thighs as you do, they can just put their feet on the insides of your calves. Just make sure there's no pushing, but you can come hand to hand. You could stretch up and out and get into that thoracic body. But even still, if you're just by yourself and you're just having a holy yoga moment, get those arms up and out. But if you've got a partner, now dance, go back and forth, put on the good tunes. There are no more rules. No more rules. We are dissolving in ways that show us deeper layers and all these have tos and shoulds that I used to have with yoga and working out. Nah, done with them. right arm comes to land. If you've got a partner, high five those left hands up there. If not, open up. You could grab the shin, the ankle, you could come in front of the thigh, you could come behind. If you're in a chair, you could throw that right leg in a chair. And then slowly start to creep up and over. So I do personally like to bring that forearm in so that my torso doesn't try to turn down toward the thigh. But if you notice, my left leg is starting to try to pop up. So what I want to do is throw a little more energy in that left sits bone. So if there were a magnet in the floor, I want to put the back of that left leg back down on the floor. Just keep breathing. I know this is one of those exercises where y'all are like, are we done now? No. You could be. You can get up and turn me off. Empowerment. I now call that the empowerment button. It's not the power button anymore. It's the empowerment button. If I don't like something that's playing that I'm streaming, empowerment button. Bye-bye. I don't have to watch it to the end anymore. I don't have to play it out and see what happens. More breath, more breath, more breath, and then slide up. Just see what happened in that minute, in that holy moment, as one of my instructors says. And now the cat is at the front door. So lazy. She can hop right over the fence. She likes to come to the door. Left arm. Up and out. Ah. She just doesn't understand why I won't bring my opposable thumbs to her rescue. Breathing in. Squeezing out. Inhaling and exhaling, and then start that reach. So this is a slow process. For me on this side, it's always a slow process, and I have to put a little more energy in that right sits bone and the back of that right leg. Keep those feet flexed if you can. If you're in a chair, just make sure that the back of your leg isn't hyperextending down toward the floor. You don't just want the foot propped up, you want the whole calf in that chair. Keep going. Keep breathing. I know when my words start squeezing out that I'm pushing a little too hard. Inhale. Exhale. There you go. One more. One more. Love into those ribs. And then pull up and away. Let the body dance in that energy. Gorgeous. Hands slide behind. Heart lifts if you want to dig those heels. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because I have socks on. I'm not on my mat. You can lift that tush if you want to. Squeezing energy out of the back side of that body. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Otherwise, just lift heart space. Lift those ribs away from that pelvis. And then when the tush comes down, lead with collarbones. Tuck chin, nice long neck, reaching forward, and then whatever's gonna make your low back, your gluteus medius, your pelvic muscles, your inner thighs, all of that, whatever's gonna make all of that, just chill out a little. You wanna just chill. We don't wanna over-rotate. If you need a bolster here because the low back has really been suffering, use the bolster. Grab the chair, pull the chair up and in, extend into the seat of the chair. And then find a place where maybe you can find stillness. I like the glamour shots. The chin on the fist. One more breath. In that moment, in this moment, we find the love for self, that inner magnetism, not opposing poles where, oh, I don't like that part of myself. Yeah, we're stuck with it right now. Work with it. Peel it apart. Oh, come on. Next breath pulls us in. Go into those opposing spaces as you lift, rise. Maybe give the head a little shift so that it can then land squarely on those shoulders. Breath in. Breath out. Grab the backs of those thighs, slide those feet together, give yourself a little butterfly, not a massive butterfly unless you're young. You know, some of us have flap, 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 pop. No, just gentle. Because what we used to do is we used to grab hold of our feet and we'd take those elbows and stick them down in there, and it was all about looking like a yogi. Let me smash those legs flat. Well, science has met ancient science and said the human body can only withstand certain amounts of pressure before it goes snap. So some of you are naturally flexible. Bone length versus tendon length versus where those acetabulum are, you know, in relation to the head ball of that femur. Some of you are going to be stuck here for the rest of your life because you're really deep in those sockets. Some of you just flatten out. Let those legs just flop. See where they are. Grab onto the feet, the ankles, the shins. Pull up and through. So now I've got those two opposing magnets. I'm leaving the pelvis by using my upper body muscles to create space. That's all we're doing, creating space. Breath into that space. And then arch that back, roll down and in if you can. If not, just laugh. Just laugh. That's all you got to do. Just laugh. Breathe in. Exhale out. Roll up. Let that right leg come out. This is going to be one of the last things we do. This is going to be a real short one. This is a post-ride, post-walk. You know, you've gotten your cardio in, or wind down for the end of the day. Heel comes at the center of the pubic bone unless that leg doesn't do that. So find that comfort space. Let those arms reach out. Give that body that little dance. Dance with yourself on New Year's Day, I guess. Zoe and I came down here and she was hanging from the hoop from the ceiling and I was working out, and then I was like, Zoe, let's dance. So we turned on some music and we just danced because we could. Right arm sweeps out. If you can't reach your own toes, don't worry about it. You can do this with a partner as well. You know, foot to foot, come on through. You can go back to back here, hook arms. You just got to be real careful because hooking those elbows is going to pull that sternum open, but you don't want to go and get stuck. But reaching, breathing, inhale, exhale. The release is going to be big. Reach up and back, side of the chair, or get stuck, get unstuck. Be big, be bold, reach. Turn this into anything you want to. Inhale, exhale. Sweep down and through, turn those shoulders toward that foot. Lean in. Lean into love. So if this is your love, and you're like, oh, love, I love you, you're amazing, you're hot, orangey, pinky, I love you. Lean in. Don't crawl away. Sometimes there's something between us and that love, right? Words that were said, bad jokes. Oh, I can't tell you how many times my sarcasm has gotten me in trouble. I'm curbing that. It's a good thing about COVID. I'm curbing my sarcasm. Growing up. Oh my God. Huh. What am I going to do about that? I'm growing up, y'all. But I'm leaning in, curbing those things that cause love to sneak away. One more time, cartwheel up and back. Reach, lift if you want to. Baby wild thing. You could swing both feet out, go into full wild thing. Boom, wild thing. Breathe in, breathe out, slide down, feet come back together. Oh, fall in love with those feet. Let those arms come up. You're running across a meadow in a really bad TV show. You're running toward your love, and then you just toss your arms around those sweaty, loving feet, inhaling the aroma. I haven't lost my weird sense of humor. Just the biting, knife-like sarcasm. One more breath. Roll it up. Left side, swing your partner do-si-do right out there. Get that heel in. Sit on a bolster if you have to. These sides are probably very different depending on your age. Injuries, surgeries, trips and falls. So give it some time. Give it a break. Lift and then dance. Move. So this is going to give you a little bit of an indicator. If you feel kind of dumb doing this, well, shut the door. Who cares? But it's going to give you an indicator of how far these obliques are going to be willing to stretch. So while you're just pushing and pulling those rubber bands, aka muscles and tendons, you know, it's like they're like, oh, I'll go that far. So then when we go to lay this hand down, oh, okay, we've already become a little accustomed to where the body is going to go, ooh, I ran out of breath there. Whew, I got to back off a little. Whew. See, there's your indicator. Inhaling and exhaling. Lots of breath. And then be in your moment. Be now. Be in love with yourself. In love with Mother Nature. In love with your children, your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors. We're out of physical contact right now, but we're not out of love. We're just not. Breathe it up. Arch it back, plant it, reach if that's you, lift if that's you, wild thing if that's you. Squeeze the glutes, stretch through heart. Yes, and then slide down. Turn it in and tip it over. Reach in for what's yours. It's going to be a long road home, eh? It's good. Actually, I'm more home than I've been in a long time. Spent a lot of years traveling, moving around the world, running. I laid a lot of things to rest last year. So grateful to 2020. Arch it up and back. Lift. Breathe. What can we lay to rest right here? In this space, in this time, what can we let go of? As we slide down to our final moments, let those feet come back together. Maybe let them move a little further away from the body this time so that the body doesn't see it as a struggle of opposing forces. Slide down and in. Close that oyster up. If you want to make it harder, take those arms, work them up and under, close yourself down and in. That's fine. But if you just want to reach, you can also turn the arms backwards, clasp behind the back if you've got long arms and skinny hips.
Just holding here. Give yourself 3 more breaths.
Really squarely move in. While you enjoy those last breaths right there, it occurred to me today that these don't sound good on Zoom, but they sound fantastic on a regular recording. So once you feel that you've gotten enough out of that oyster posture, roll the body up. Lift through the sternum. Shoulder blades back and together. Hold nice and still. Find one real purposeful breath for some part of you that you can breathe love into. And then rolling down onto your back, legs over a cushion, or if you're seated in a chair, just get comfy. Take a few breaths just to let the bones settle. Let the magnetism of the earth draw you in. The magnetism of the moment and the wonder that it is to be a human in this time, in the comfort of your own home, in your own space, maybe with the cat walking under you and the dog curled up next to you. The wonder of it all. Is it exhilarating? Is it content-making? One more breath and a sigh. And then just be.